road again. Just can't wait to get on the road again. The life I love is adventuring with my friends, and I can't wait to get on the road again. On the road again, going places that I've never been, seeing things that I may never see again, and I can't wait to get on the road again. Hashtag offers options as we head into the north. A town or a deserted place, we choose the town of course. I'm ready for a comfortable bed, a place to rest my weary head. The adventure continues.
You get to the inn and you head on up the stairs and into it, and it's quite quiet. It's, as I say, because it's mainly houses here and there's not much sort of trade going in and out. It's only going to be really usually frequented by residents of Rivermoot, so it's not necessarily as hustling and bustling as some of the other inns you've been in. But it's warm, it's dry, and there's a few people in here, but nothing significant. There's probably about half a dozen or so people drinking, what do you want to do?
What kind of town is this? Like, is it like a trade town? Is it like a mining town? Is it like a fishing town? What we?
It's a fishing town, but not in the sense of like a trade fishing town. It's not necessarily one that is like getting lots of fish and sea life out of the rivers to sell on to other cities and towns. It's more for their own survival, more for their own sort of well-being than anything else. So yeah, there's definitely a fishing trade here. It's very very plain and bland. You know, where Silvery Moon was a very cultured city, where Everland had lots of trade and things like that going on. Rivermoot is just simply existing. It's surviving more than anything. It's a settlement more than it is anything else. It's, it has its place on the map, but it isn't necessarily something that travellers would go seeking out unless they had a particular reason that they needed to be there.
Okay, fine. So not many other travellers around. Okay.
No, you look around and roll me an insight.
I will happily give you an insight. There we go. You can have an insight with a 6.
6. Yeah, I mean, you don't. Everyone here looks. You don't know how you can tell this, but they look like they're familiar with each other. It doesn't look like the sort of place that has. Everyone has a similar sort of look about them, and you sort of get the impression that pretty much everyone inside this inn right now probably lives in Rivermoot. There's probably no one here. You are the most exotic thing here.
Are humans or mixture of?
All human.
I mean, these are some very boring places up here, aren't they? Always just human. Okay, so does it look like there's any kind of I don't want to say trouble in the town, but you know what I mean, just like, I guess, trouble, anything that's worrying people, like, or
they seem fairly, I wouldn't say happy, but they seem fairly content. It's not the most bawdy inn you've been in, but people are having fun. People are, there's no one here particularly down on their luck by any means. A couple give you guys a bit of a look when you walk in, but it's more out of curiosity, I would say, because, as I say, these all live here. You're people that don't live here, and and then certainly in this inn, they're all humans, and they just see a collection of people who, certainly a dragonborn and a half orc would probably stand out a little bit, as well as the fact that you're just not known at this place. So there is someone. There's someone stood behind the bar, and he sort of gives you a wave as like a howdy travellers type thing.
Quinch would like to approach.
Okay.
Here we go. Sorry, that was the real Nate and then the fake Nate there. Hello, I've got 3 questions for you. How are you? How's business?
How are you feeling? Is your mental state well? Do you have 5 rooms? And what drink do you recommend? Do you have a specialty cocktail for us to drink?
That's like 7 questions.
So that was 7 questions, yeah.
I believe that was 7 questions, good sir.
Okay, how are you?
I'm well, and all the better for seeing you.
Could I ask another question? What's your name, sorry?
It is Trent.
Hello, Trent. Not the first Trent I've been knee-deep in. Oh, no, that's Trench, isn't it? Anyway, Trent, excuse me. How's business?
Well, it's okay. I mean, we're up in the north here, so we don't really get to see as much as we'd like. I mean, these fine fellows are all residents. You 5 are particularly interesting characters, though. You're obviously new to the inn. I don't think I've seen you before, have I? You've not been to Rivermoot before?
No, we've just come into town. I'm sorry to hear that business isn't going so well. In that case, we'll pay above your standard rates. How's your mental state?
It's okay, considering. I mean, it's been a bit of a horrible day with the weather, hasn't it? It's
been blustery and awful.
Have you been travelling?
We've come from a different direction.
Oh, incredible! I actually think I've got a cousin out in a different direction.
What's his name, or her name, or their name?
Lent.
Are they eating well?
They've run a bit of a fast at the moment.
It's very understandable. It's a commendable thing. I couldn't do it, but I have the greatest respect for anyone who does. You have 5 rooms.
We do have 5 rooms, but 3 of them are currently occupied.
Oh, so you've got 2 vacant rooms.
That would be the maths, yes, sir.
We'll take those, please.
Okie dokie.
And sorry, carry on.
No, I was going to say that will be 2 silver pieces per night. Are you staying with us just tonight or for longer?
We're just planning to stay tonight, but we'd like to give you 2 silver pieces and a copper piece.
Oh, that would be awfully welcome. Thank you very much. We do throw in a free stew with the room.
Oh, that's wonderful. Quinch motions over to Krill.
It is a fish stew, though. Is that a problem for anyone?
Oh dear.
That's a coincidence. Quinch was planning to fish stew later on.
Banter. Whilst we deal with the financial commitments, could you let me know what your specialty drinks are?
We're a bit basic out here. We just sort of have wine.
Oh, that's not basic. What vintage is it?
Oh, it's just whatever we can get our hands on. We're not particularly fussy. It's just anything we can get that helps the town, have a drink.
I suppose that is a bit basic then. Yes, well, I'll have one of those with some water mixed in.
Very unbasic, of course. We do have obviously water as well. So it's the water and wine and fish and spread.
Spread?
No,
and
sorry,
bread.
Did you say spread?
No, I said
Quinch opens
bread.
his legs.
I said bread, but then I realised fish, bread, water, wine, Lent. It's just become a very Christian village that I did not intend in the slightest, but there we go. Can I get you, the rest of you, a fish stew?
Sorry, your name was Trent, wasn't it?
It was, yes.
Oh,
Hi, Trent.
Hi there.
My name's Dweezil.
Hi there, Dweezil.
Are you well?
What's your favourite colour?
Yeah. Have you
and my mental state as well.
Have you ever been in love? You said that you have 5 rooms, but you only have 2 available. But you
That's
also
correct,
said
yes.
that nobody comes to wherever we are, Lumpwood, Rivermoot.
Yes. That is quite the continuity area, isn't it?
So, I mean, do you want to explain that away, or...?
Was he including like the bar, the kitchen, and the lobby in those?
War damage in it. It's been raining too much.
So who's staying here? Who's in the other rooms? I know.
Well, I'm afraid that's GDPR, and I can't tell you who's staying in the other room.
What does GDPR stand for?
It stands for
Probably just be easier to tell me who's staying in the rooms rather than to think of something on your feet.
We'll just let's call them Mr. Smith, Miss Jones, and Joe Bloggs.
Right. Is Stuart to Nathan? Stuart to Nathan. Nathan, come in, Nathan. Have you? Am I being unnecessarily suspicious here?
I mean, yes and no. I mean, you don't. Why would people living here rent out the rooms? Of course, but it's. I can assure you, it's not a story thing, and it's clearly just Nathan saying the wrong things.
Right. So
just a bit of continuity issue more than anything.
Okay, so it's a Nathan problem rather than a Storm King Thunder.
100%.
Oh, couldn't we should pull on.
Yeah.
Couldn't guarantee more that this is not worth bothering with.
So what we're saying is, for the rest of the whole of this episode, we need to investigate who's in those rooms.
All right.
Yeah.
Can we just pretend it's like a sex thing? Like there's just a sex thing.
It is 100% a sex thing.
Oh, Quinch will be up in one of them then.
Yeah. The way it works is like there's someone in the middle room, and the two rooms either side of it have like peepholes into it. So that's what's happening with those three rooms.
Do our rooms have that?
Yeah, I can assure you, your rooms do not have that. No,
Not yet, anyway.
2 rooms between 5 of us. What's your stabling?
Yeah, we have a giant stable.
No, we've got a lot of horses and a goat.
we do have a stable, but obviously, I don't know if you're familiar with Rivermoot. We do have an issue with flooding from time to time, so I can't guarantee the horses will be there in the morning.
Oh.
Do you offer insurance?
Not really. No, it's not something.
Well, we're going to need to bring them in then.
Yeah, 1 room for the horses, 1 room for us.
I should note that when I say we have an issue with flooding, it's not like every day or anything like that. It's more a case of from time to time. The rivers do flood, but it's not by any means. It's probably once a season,
right?
So it's enough that we've had.
Has it happened this season?
Not just yet, no. But today is particularly rainy, so
You're really stacking those odds against us, aren't you?
How would you like to buy some horses?
And if they're still there in the morning, we'll buy them back off you.
this sounds like a wonderful deal. But let's just decide if I buy them in the morning, shall we?
Yeah. Have you got any mastiffs?
Any what? Sorry, mastiffs?
Any mastiffs?
No, we don't tend to deal with too many horses in Rivermoot because of the aforementioned flooding issues.
Is that why you've got a stable?
Did I say there was a stable?
Yep.
Did I?
Yep.
I feel like those words left your mouth.
Again, the Nathan problem.
So it's a quiet town that has a 60% booking rate. You're a quiet little inn where you don't see many horses, so you've got a substantial stable. No.
And yet we survive, sir.
Have I got the winey water yet?
Oh, very much so.
Quinch drinks
it's
it.
probably not water in there.
Oh. Quinch starts drinking it. Realises there's more wine than water.
Yeah, I'll take a winey water drink as well, please.
Just notes it.
Okay. So that will be then. So for the one night, the 2 rooms, that's 2 silver pieces. 4 silver pieces for the rooms, and we'll say another 2 silver pieces for all of these wines.
Sounds fair.
Okay. You did the negotiations, Quinch, so I'm assuming you are paying.
Oh no, I wouldn't have thought so. No.
Generally speaking, the person who negotiates the prices is the one who pays, because if it were,
it's almost as if we set up a kitty for these sorts of costs.
Yeah, we do have a kitty for these sorts of costs, but and I hold the kitty. But generally, what happens is that I also negotiate the prices, because then I'm the person who's responsible for the kitty. I was given that position of responsibility, and it is part of my job that I have to get the best possible prices and make the kitty go as far as it can possibly go. So the next time we get to seller's teller or whatever it's called, a teller's seller. There's enough money in there for you to ask about belts again. And when we get there and you go, oh no, we're actually 2 silver pieces short because Quinch decided we were overpaying for what watered down wine and insufficient board facilities, then it'll be me who gets it in the neck.
That sounds fair. So Quinch hands over the total.
Okay, so that's 6 silver pieces, a mighty sum that Stuart seems to have taken real issue with. But there you go.
Plus the extra copper pieces that Quinch said he was going to pay on top.
It was just 1 copper piece, but yeah, we'll write
It was.
down as well.
Okay.
Fair.
You get your watered down wine. Excuse me, you get your watered down wine. It's quite vinegary. It's really, aside from the watery down part of it, the wine itself is not particularly nice. But equally, after the day you've had in terms of travelling, it's still better than nothing. You get to your rooms. There's 2 rooms.
Just to clarify, on the way up to the Quinch started walking up the stairs, but he just turned back to the patrons of the room. Did any of the patrons look at Quinch?
Did any of the patrons look at Quinch? No, none of them looked at Quinch.
Okay, well, Quinch nods anyway. And then walks up the stairs.
Okay. You get to your rooms. You get to 2 rooms which are next to each other. Who's sleeping in what?
Oh, Greg's going in the first room he comes to. Doesn't even care who else comes in there.
So basically, you get to these rooms, and they are literally sort of like 5 rooms in a row, essentially. And the first one in front of you, there's like one to your left, which is vacant. One sort of slightly off to your left, but sort of in front of you is vacant, and then the other 3 are taken. So the one straight in front of you is where Greg walks into. He's joining Greg.
Yeah, Quinch will walk in there as well. Why not?
Quinch goes in with Greg.
Yeah, I'll go in as well.
Okay, and then it's Dweezil and Krill and the other one, I assume.
Yeah.
You're gonna let Quinch sleep in the room with you?
Vin will be on watch again.
Okay. So you these are very basic rooms as well. As I say, this is a place that doesn't really get any through trade or anything like that. You get in there. There's 1 bed, so 2 of you 3 of you in total are going to theoretically be sleeping on the floor tonight. But again, compared to the option of sleeping outside in the cold and potential rain.
Wait. So why are people sleeping on the floor?
Because there's 1 bed in each room. And there's 5 of you.
Right. Me and Dweezil top and tail.
All right, fair enough. If that's what you guys want to do, that's absolutely fine. All right. It is going to be quite a squeeze. It's a single bed. So, you being a 7'5" orc.
Said what I said.
Yeah, that's fine. It's absolutely fine.
Both get exhaustion tomorrow.
Quinch just grabs his cube of many colours and just curls up into a ball on the floor and fiddles away.
Does he like a cat where he just walks in circles for a little bit, begging for the ground? Like,
yeah.
Laid on his back, just batting at the cube.
Yeah.
I mean, you're used to sleeping on the floor in inns now. Yeah. At least this one's inside the room.
Exactly. It's a bit of an upgrade, really.
Exactly. Okay. So you settle down for the night. Anything anyone wants to do before bedtime?
Just a little twist of the cube.
You already had one today. Oh, no, you haven't. Not today. This was the second day, wasn't it? Yeah, go for it then.
Oh, 14.
14. Okie dokie. Yeah, this is very much... You've got basically 2... You've got 3 sides right now, all of the same colour.
That's almost half.
Yeah, it is almost half. Well done. And yeah, you're just... You're getting excited by this because it's ever and ever closer.
Nice.
Okay.
I wonder if I'll be dead in real life before I open it.
It's been dark.
I'd rather you didn't, so you can see how disappointing what's inside is.
Anything else?
It's 1 copper piece.
It's not even that, mate. It's just a normal Rubik's Cube. It doesn't do anything.
Yeah, it doesn't open.
No, I don't think I've got anything to do at bedtime.
No.
Okay, right. You all settle in for the night, and 4 of you have a wonderfully comfortable and enjoyable sleep out from the wind and the rain. The wind is whistling past the window a fair bit, and it does wake you from time to time. But as I say, your non-mechanical exhaustion from the last 24 hours has definitely got you more tired than anything, and so even when you do wake up, it's straight back to sleep. One of you, however, has somewhat of an okay night, but towards the end of their sleep, they start having some dreams, and they are on the battlefield, slaying hordes of goblin opposition. Hayshit cleaving through the enemies like a hot knife through butter. But suddenly the tide changes, and now the numbers start to overwhelm you, while an ache is starting to set in your arms. You look around you and do not see any of your comrades. If you continue to fight, defeat seems inevitable. You unfurl your wings to try to fly and retreat, and you get 5 feet from the ground, but you then suddenly feel a grip on your ankle. You look down at your foot to see a blue, scaled hand. Following the hand and then the arm, you see it belongs to a dragonborn half-human, grappling you in place. You flap your wings harder, trying to lift both you and your opponent off the ground, but it doesn't seem to work, and your energy levels are low from the fight. Just then, more blue dragonborn half-humans join the first, anchoring him, then climbing him to get to you, each one gripping you tighter and tighter, dragging you down until you are back down on the ground, laid out and held down. A hand claws at your face, taking a chunk from your cheek. Another grabs some flesh from your torso. The dragonborn half-humans are clamouring at you, and the last thing you remember is 100 hands stripping you for body parts. You wake up in a cold sweat, Quinch, if it wasn't clear as you. You wake up in a cold sweat, laying on the floor, whilst was it Greg and Dabov? Whilst Greg and Dabov are unaware, sleeping in, well, both, I assume, the bed.
Yeah, we're top and tail it. Why not?
Okay.
I'll be curled up at the foot of the bed.
So you've handed over to me, have you, to react to that?
Yeah.
Tweet.
Quinch puts a hand on his forehead and it's covered in sweat. He puts it on his pectoral muscles, feels the curvature and the strength, the hard muscles. He moves his hand slowly down, feels his 6-pack, the scales and the sturdiness, scratches smoothly against his nails as he puts his arms and hands down further as he steadies himself on the floor with his arms either side of him and as he pushes himself off the floor. He rattles his wings as much as they'll go. Droplets of cold sweat splash onto the walls. He is a mightily wet beast, and he's still trying to catch his breath from the panicking dream or nightmare that he's had. Does Quinch have any idea what time it is?
You don't know exact times by any means, but it's still relatively. There's a shutter to the door to the window. Sorry, and it is closed, but you know you can see that the light would be coming in if it was day. Like it's not so like shut tight that it would. It's not letting any light in whatsoever, so you can tell that it's still nighttime.
Sort of middle of the night, right? Okay. So with that in mind, Quinch isn't going to wake anyone up. He's just gonna. It's made him a bit skittish and struck the fear in him a little bit. He looks down at the bed, sees the fellas. He sees a bald head and a pair of feet, and he's like, right, I vaguely remember where I am now. He just checks the window just to make sure it's still closed, and he just goes over to the door and just makes sure it's firmly locked. And then he just sort of settles himself back on the floor and is just sort of, he's a bit shaken up, so he's just contemplating for a little bit before he tries to get back to sleep.
Okay, roll me a Constitution.
Constitution. What is this, a saving throw?
No, just straight
Just
Constitution.
a normal Constitution. Oh, 17.
17. Yeah, you are disturbed by this dream, and it does leave you a little bit shaken by some of the imagery and the thought behind it. But you, because it's still, because it's quite late and because you are still tired from the thing, you do manage to get back to sleep. Not as quickly as you normally would, but certainly not so that you've missed out on your long rest or anything like that. So you managed to get back to sleep relatively easy considering.
Okay, nice.
Morning rolls around and you are independently waking up. Don't know who's first and whatnot, but let's not go through an awkward breakfast scene. You all get up, you head on out of the stilts, and you find that the horses are basically where you left them. Let's say you tied them up to the stilts of the stilts. They're still there. There's no flooding or anything like that, and the day is still cold, but the rain has at least stopped, so it'll at least make the travelling a little easier. The ground's a bit muddy from all of it, but it's not nothing that's too problematic, and you'll be able to set off.
Is there any shops in this town before we set off anywhere?
None that you can see, and we'll say that the night before you may have even asked the Trent about it, and he said not really. We have they're a self-sufficient sort of town that deals with their own stuff, and they do get traders that come through from time to time for anything a bit more exotic. But generally speaking, they don't have their own trade going on.
Quinch just gets the attention of Dweezil as they're setting off or putting their saddles on the horses or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Dweezil.
Quinch.
I woke up in the middle of the night to some very concerning, a very concerning situation, first of all, and perhaps less importantly, but it certainly struck my mind, as I don't recall it happening, but I woke up without an erection, and the reason that I didn't have an erection is because I had an awful dream. I don't know what it means from a mental standpoint, but it was as if there were many hundreds of versions of myself trying to grapple me and stop me from retreating. I don't know if it was a metaphor for me having to confront my fears or a bad omen, perhaps. Of course, I am the bringer of omens. Perhaps now the tables have turned and an omen has been brought to me.
Oh, lovely.
And we have an unwinnable battle ahead for which I will have to be brave and for which I fear I'm not sure I have the bravery.
That is strange indeed. It does sound like a simple anxiety dream.
Okay.
I mean, I'd love to say that I can. I'd love to disagree with you and say that you are brave, Quinch, but it's been duly noted that your bravery has ebbed somewhat since we first met. When I first met you, you were a fierce and brave warrior. It was you who saved me from brigands without a moment's hesitation. And then since we got to Nightstone, really, I've seen a marked deterioration in your bravery levels, somewhat moving more towards cowardice on occasion.
No, I don't. I think that's. I'd like you to take that back. Actually, I'm not too happy that you said that.
You'd like me to retreat the words, or as we like to call it, you'd like me to quinch the words.
No, again, you're being quite offensive now, Dweez. I come to you for support, and I feel like you're attacking me.
Sorry, I don't want to. Please, if you feel like I'm attacking you, that's the last thing I want, because otherwise we wouldn't be able to finish the conversation. What with you, obviously, 15 feet in the air and moving away as quickly as you possibly could.
No, this is not the way. Since Nightstone, we've obviously had more party members. We've got a very strong, burly barbarian who is, so strong and powerful, more formidable in close combat than I, of course. And so I have tried to utilize my skills in different ways. I am a nimble and competent traverser, so I will try and find an advantage. And more recently with Shoreshit, I attack from afar. However, I heed your words, and you are encouraging me to be more brave. I will concentrate on my gems. I will hope that somehow they get stronger, because I think I feel like my level has surpassed their quality, and it's maybe they'll get stronger.
I mean, that's almost shots fired at Nathan there as well, wasn't it? Well done. Collateral damage.
No,
you do you though. It's fine.
But I take what you're saying. Perhaps I've been less bold than my memories.
I'm not meaning to criticise you, Quinch. I'm just saying that perhaps that your dreams are your subconscious trying to tell you what I just told you. I just told you it somewhat more bluntly than your dreams did.
You may be right. I am the person who's killed krakens and demons and gods after all. And yet, more recently, I've struggled to kill a child zombie.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Good chat.
I'm sorry that you woke up without an erection, or Quinch. That must have been awful for you.
It felt very strange, I have to say.
Yeah. Have you managed to achieve one since?
Yes, I masturbated in the morning, so very good.
Good.
Do you know what? I was just going to give you both inspiration, but the masturbation epilogue sort of took the shine off it a little bit, so we're going to just move on.
Krill walks over to Dweezil and Dweezil, I must tell you about my dream, and you must tell me what it means. I dreamt I had some hairy toes in my mouth. That was all.
You were sharing a room with. You were sharing a room with me. Thank God.
Yeah, we were top and tailing.
Yeah. Good. Yeah, really good. That. Hold on.
But what does it mean, Dweezil? What does it mean?
It means that you've got a very specific kink.
I think the kinks were in your toes, mate. Right. Anything else?
No more dreams. We're good.
Okay. You set off from Rivermoot, and after about an hour, well, not even that, about half an hour or so's travel, you managed to pick up on Harshnag's trail, and you find him basically setting away his kit as well, and he greets you, and you set off again. Anything you want to do with Harshnag before we move on? No question.
I think we should ask him how he found himself when he woke up this morning. Without being too personal, Harshnag, do giants have the same kind of morning routine Dweezil does with the air quotes around it?
I cannot speak for all giants, but Harshnag does indeed have a frosty one in the morning. He wakes up with an icicle, if this is what you are asking. Anyway, you all set off travelling, and after about an hour, you come up to a river. And Harshnag tells you that essentially you need to cross this river to carry on your journey. There's no real options, because to the south of you is the Ralvin River. I think this is the Sunderbar River. And your option is, your only option is to cross it. It's obviously very cold given the weather, but like I say, you don't have any options. You're unaware of there, and so is Harshnag, unaware of there being any bridges. Fortunately enough, though, the river is, whilst it's moving at some pace, it's deep that you couldn't walk on the riverbed, but it's not so deep that you're going to get sucked in and lost forever. The waters are clear and you can see all the way to the bottom. There's probably about a 20-foot drop down to the riverbank, to the riverbed. And it's about 40 to 50 foot wide from here to the other side. How do you wish to cross?
More concerned. I mean, we could swim. I'm more concerned about getting the horses over.
Perhaps I could carry them across.
Yeah, if you could kind of shepherd the horses backwards and forwards over, and then, I mean, I can swim.
I can get on a broom. It's
Yeah,
fine.
Quinch, you can fly. Can you swim, Daboff?
Yeah, probably.
I mean, I could just put Dawoff on my broom.
Yeah, I'd imagine Quinch and Greg could probably fly over those that were weren't too big to ride.
Yeah, to be fair, if Quinch, if you don't mind flying me over, because it saves getting everything wet, doesn't it? Then.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
I'm just going to ask the big fella to carry me over.
Yes, of course.
I could, Krill, but I am already carrying 6 horses. It seems a little unfair to make me carry
Can you make more than one trip?
I can, but I can only do 1 horse at a time. I'm having to swim. It seems that your friend there has a magic flying device. It would seem much easier for you to ride on this.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, that's fine.
I don't wish to make this awkward, any more awkward than you already have, but I'm happy to do this if you really wish it, but it does seem a little unnecessary.
It's fine. I just thought yesterday we bonded.
Oh, we did. I am.
It's
still
not you,
thinking
it's me.
I am just having to do essentially 12 trips to take your fucking horses already, so it's another 2 trips seems a little unnecessary.
I mean, I've got to ask, why don't you just have 1 horse under each arm, and then you'd only need to do 6 trips?
Well, it
Or
is
5 actually, because you'd be going.
I'm having to swim. I cannot reach the bottom. So, those of you that fly across on the broom and or Quinch do so. True to his word, Harshnag, essentially, yeah, it takes him a little bit of time because it is he's having to swim one-handed. He's obviously carrying the horse and obviously having to try and keep it calm in what is probably quite a stressful scenario for the horses. So you eventually get all the horses, and Sebastian, of course, who's carrying Sebastian.
Oh, he's coming on the
for
broom. He's going to be standing on the back of it like a mountain goat.
Okay. You eventually get to the other side, and that in itself alone takes quite a long time. The whole, working out what to do and getting the horses across. So it's sort of late morning by this point, midday-ish. And as you get to the other side, though, you notice that this side of the river the terrain's a little harsher. It's still very much flatlands, but it's just not in quite as good a condition. You can see that there's some scorch marks from God knows what. You can see that the grass is not in anywhere near as good a condition. It's much more patchy and less luscious this side of the river. You set off travelling. After a couple of hours, you start seeing up in the distance a body on the ground. What do you do? It's about 200. It's about 200 feet away. It's laying on the ground.
Kind of size.
It's big. It's bigger than a human.
Do you want
bigger than the bread bin?
Do you want to send Vin forward to see if you can get a better look at it, Daboff?
Yeah, can do.
This stinks of ambush to me.
Okay. What happens with Vin? You just sending him off and he comes back, or can you see through his eyes?
He's going to survey from the sky. So he's going to go up, I don't know, 20, 30 feet or so. And just kind of look more at the surrounding area more so than the body itself.
It does really confuse me that Vin is no longer a weasel. He's now an owl.
Weasel. So he goes up 20, 30 feet, and the first thing he sees, he does see the body, and he can tell from this distance that it is a 4-legged creature. laying on the ground, and he can see blood around it. He swoops around a little bit and roll me perception.
14.
14. He goes around and he doesn't see anything else in the vicinity.
Cool. I'll report that back to everyone, but I don't see anything suspicious. Or Vin doesn't.
What do you do then? Approach it?
I guess, yeah, on Vin's...
Give it a wide berth?
Vin's word, probably approach it just with curiosity to what it is.
See what it is.
Okay. You travel towards it, and as you get about 30 foot away from it, you can see what appears to be the body of a manticore.
Ooh.
And as you get close to it, Harshnag lets out a laugh and just says, "This is my work. I apologize for you being concerned. This thing attacked me, and one of its another manticore also attacked me, and and he shows you this scar across, like these scars across his arms. This is actually from one of them, and yes, I put it out of his misery. I'm sorry that this has Harshnag. It has been a crazy few days, and I'd forgotten about it.
I know that you're looking for. I was going to suggest that Krill takes the barbed tail of the manticore as a trophy, but it's not really within the roadkill trophies.
Hey, Dad, I found this dead squirrel.
Participation trophy.
Do we other than a vague understanding of what a manticore is? It's like a sort of a lion, and it's got a spiky
wings.
tail, hasn't it? And yeah.
It's like a lion, scorpion,
Is that not a
bat
chimera?
kind of mix.
No, it's basically a wing. Essentially, it's a winged. It's got a humanoid. It says it's got a humanoid head, the body of a lion, the wings of a dragon, and it's also got like a barbed tail.
Yeah,
aren't they famous for like really strong venom? Would it be worth grabbing that?
You can. Let me have a look. It doesn't mention anything about venom in the stats, so I suspect probably not. But you're more than welcome to take anything you want from it.
Yeah,
Quinch, you could get another pair of wings, and then you could have like a double wing kind of job, like a
butterfly
attached to the other ones. Like,
I don't know a Frankenstein doctor really.
Quinchenstein. Dr. Quinchenstein.
yeah, let's take the barbed tail thing.
Well, if Nathan's saying that there's no,
We can homebrew something.
Well, I'm happy for you to take it. There is nothing specific about it in the stats about there being anything venomous about it. But equally, if you wanted to take it to do something with it, let's put it this way: Quinch picks up like dusty vases and pillowcases, something like that. I'd imagine that there's a chance that you can turn a manticore tail into a weapon in some fashion.
Excuse me, I have never picked up a
famous
dusty vase.
paralysis. Like the manticore venom is a famous paralysis in mythology.
Well, I'm telling you, in D&Dology, there's nothing that I can see. But equally, like I said, we feel free to take it, and we can work out something off pod.
Cool. I take that.
Okay. You cut your way through the tail, and you get. You taking the whole tail? You just taking the barbed end? What are you taking of it?
Just the because it's like a scorpion's tail, isn't it? So I'm going to take what would essentially be the end segment that contains both the barb and the.
Okay. Right.
You know what I mean. You know what I mean.
Stinger.
That's right.
Yeah, the stinger section.
You're taking the bulbous end.
The bulbous
end.
Fine.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Yeah, all right. Okay, so you take that, and you get back on your way. Again, travelling overland. It's again the terrain is just so much worse this side of the river. You don't know why. There's no real reason for it. Harshnag, you maybe you can ask him at some point, and he says he doesn't understand why, but it's just a lot more boggy and just not very nice. Not as nice to travel this side of the river as it was the other side. You eventually get through several hours of travel that day, and you set up camp for night. Can we go through our perception, please? Who wants up first?
I'm going to go up first. If you don't mind me jumping ahead.
Okie dokie. So go for it.
Yeah, so that's going to be a 10 overall.
10 overall. Okie dokie. You don't hear anything here. You're a little uneasy about the manticore. You're obviously a little bit nervous. Well, not nervous. Carl probably doesn't get nervous, but given that you know that there's a second one out there, theoretically, you're not that far from it. Albeit a bit of a few hours travel away from it. It's still within distance for that manticore to track you down. But you get through your watch with nothing happening, nothing of interest. Next up,
Greg.
Can you give me a roll?
I just rolled another 6.
Another 6. Okie dokie. Equally, you're almost distracted to the point you don't notice anything. It's not that you don't hear anything. It's not that you hear nothing. It's that you don't hear anything. Completely different thing. You're so just maybe you haven't had a coffee and you're a bit
I don't think I've had one in a couple of days, so that's probably what it is.
Yeah, a bit jittery.
Trying to wean myself off of it,
Okie dokie. Who's up next?
I'll take the next one if that's okay.
Okie dokie. Roll me.
13.
13, lovely. You hear a few things, a few animals to the north of you. You can't quite make out what they are, but they sound mammal in nature rather than like birds or anything like that. About an hour and a half into your watch, though, you hear what can only be described as large wings above you. Nothing happens, and it sort of just flies straight past you. But there was definitely something up there, and definitely something winged. You can't see anything against the night sky. You couldn't. You looked up when you first heard the wings, and you might have maybe seen like a couple of stars just like twinkle out at one point, but you couldn't make out any shape or anything like that, and you couldn't even tell how high up it was. Close enough, clearly, that you would have heard it, but not necessarily anything more than that.
I go and wake the next person whose turn it is when my turn is over, and I just let them know what I heard and saw.
Okay. Who is next up?
I'll go next.
Okie dokie.
With a 19.
19. You again hear some animal noises all around, actually. Whereas Quinch heard them in the north, you hear some in the north, some in the south, off to your east as well. Generally speaking, though, nothing happens. You do get that funny feeling again, though, of being watched. But you look around, and I'd even suggest you stand up and sort of take a little wander around. You just, especially in the nighttime, you just can't see. You can't see anything or anyone. That funny little watched thing that you keep getting.
Roll for paranoia.
Yeah. Don't enjoy that at all.
Okay. Gonna say Harshnag's up first. So unless you up next, sorry. So unless you want to do anything.
No, just get Harshnag.
Okay. So you wake him up. Do you tell him about anything? He obviously doesn't know that you. I don't know if you've even told the rest of the group about this sort of feeling.
I think Dweezil's obviously he's putting this down to previous experience with perhaps voices in the head kind of experience. Okay.
Harshnag gets up and he rolls his perception. He got a 5 overall. He doesn't notice anything. Maybe he's got a little bit too comfortable with you already, even though it's only been 2 nights that he's spent with you. But he doesn't, very much like Greg, doesn't notice anything. But thankfully, nothing happens. Daboff up last.
Yeah, I'll stay away. Well, does he relay the information that there's flying stuff and...
Well, who did Quinch, did you tell anyone?
I told Dweezil.
You told Dweezil, so did Dweezil tell Harshnag?
Yeah, I would have told Harshnag that there was something
and
flying
then Harshnag
around.
will tell you, he'll just say that there's a big flying... That someone heard that there was a big flying...
I think Chinese whispers, Dweezil would have probably 2 and 2'd and gone, it's probably the other Manticore. So I think I'd have probably... Yeah, I'd have said, I think it's the Manticore.
Okay, I'll stay awake then, but I will watch with Vin. But I'll keep Vin sort of low.
Okay. Roll.
Me or Vin?
Yeah, both.
Vin has rolled 21. And Dabov has rolled 10 plus whatever his perception is. I think it's 5. Yes, 15.
Okay. So you get ready for your watch. And what did you get personally? You got 10, did you say?
15.
15,
with a modifier.
And Vin got 21.
21.
You get up for your you sort of stay up for your watch, and I don't know what's Vin doing, flying around again as per usual.
Yeah, but sort of lower, like sort of maybe not really above like sort of head height, if you know what I mean. So perimeter wise, he's flying, but not really very high.
Yeah, okie dokie. Okay, so you start your watch, and you hear some animals off to the north again, like the others do or had. You don't know when it happened, but at some point you must have fallen asleep during your watch.
Oh, dab off.
You awake and it's morning, and you're tired and don't really know how it happened. And you stand up and you're looking at the rest of the group who are looking at you inquisitive. Harshnag looks at you and just says, "The blue one. He is gone."
Thank you so much for listening to Dice and Desire. If you were...
Hello.
Quinch, what are you doing here?
I thought I'd help out with the promo.
No, Quint, no, come on. You're just going to talk about random place names that don't exist.
No, I wasn't. I was going to talk to you about my adventures in Valaquanth, the very best that the Tendering Meadows has to offer.
God, if you have to be here, at least read this out.
Okay, what have we got here? Leave us a review on Apple or Podchaser.
Oh, yeah, it was fine. It's pronounced Apple, but that was fine. Now read this bit.
You can also follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Just search Dice and Desire.
I'm actually very surprised that was all pronounced correctly. Thanks, Quinch. Thank you guys for listening. Do exactly as Quinch said and help us out in those various ways. And we look forward to sharing another episode with you very soon.
In a world besieged by darkness, torn apart by hatred, where the cruel, the wicked, and the heartless rule over all, Romancing the Dungeon is an epic tale of 4 legendary heroes who unite in the name of love, unity, and friendship to bring light and hope back into the world.
Are you serious? Those 4 wouldn't know what love is even if it was tattooed on their asses. You got the wrong show if you think these 4 are love experts. I'm the only love expert you need, so we're doing this my way. If you desire romance, we got it.
Ah, there's my favorite person.
Morning.
How you doing, Angel?
Great.
Come here, and I sort of get in real close, and I like lips sort of purse, but I flutter my lips and give a little like.
And if you love drama, we got that too.
I need you to find and kill Eugenia Flatstone. I need her heart.
Okay, well we haven't. I think it's been a while since we've done the heart thing. How am I supposed to get that to you? Because I don't think walking around with an old lady's heart is gonna go well for me personally.
If action is your passion, well, there's plenty of that as well.
For my bonus action, I'm going to use Blessing of the Raven Queen to go behind the other guy.
Okay.
And basically come up behind him with a dagger to his neck to get him to stop.
God damn.
What the fuck happened to you in the woods?
Join Thane, Thea, Nate, and Hephaestus as they put their hearts and my reputation on the line in a race to rescue an eccentric bride from the clutches of evil, battle against the insatiable forces of darkness, and try not to die along the way, I suppose.
I start taking my clothes off.
Okay.
And I take a blanket from the bed, and I wrap it around me, and I start following the steps, and I go, I'm a greasy little peanut. I'm a greasy little peanut. I'm a greasy little peanut.
Oh, for the love of... I don't even know why I bother.
Romancing the Dungeon, a softcore D&D podcast about 4 heroes on a quest for true love and discovering what that really means for them. Available wherever good podcasts are found.
Good podcasts? Well, that's blatant false advertising.